So I just spent 3 days with some teenagers teaching them how to do videos. Today, we're going to talk about 3 things I learned about it and the reason why. All right, what's going on, Devoted Geeks? Welcome to Geek Devotions, show from Devoted Geeks who are devoted to letting you know you're loved. I'm Dallas. I'm so glad you've hit the play button today. If you're new to our show, we take geek, pop culture items like movies, video games, comics, and we usually let people know that they're loved. So if you don't watch past this moment of this, we love you, we care about you, there is a plan, and a purpose for your life. Do not give up. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I got my mobile rig with me because I'm shooting from a variety of places for the purpose of today's video. As I said in my intro, I just finished 3 days of what I call film school with the students at my church that I get to serve at.
Now, when I say film school, this was 3 days where the students hung out at the church from 9 a.m. until 4:30 every single day, sometimes until 5 o'clock actually. And they learned the basics of filming. They learned about framing. They learned about audio. They learned about the different formats of how to film and why you do certain things. They learned about storytelling. They learned how to use different audio editing softwares. And they also learned how to use DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro. And all this was for a purpose. It was to give them an outlet for their creativity, yes, but also it was to create opportunities for the students to grow together. During the 3 days, we had amazing conversations about life, about what was going on inside of them and their passions, the things that they were seeing coming down the pipeline. Some of them shared about their fears and their insecurities. Some of them shared about the great things that they wanted to do in life. This was more than just filming. This was about growing together as a group. And honestly, it was amazing.
Now, at my church, we have these things behind us. It's our kind of our purpose, our main thrust, be no do. We want people to be who God created them to be, know what he's saying, and do what he's called them to do. And out of that, we create opportunities for people to experience the presence of God and God's people. And it's a really fascinating thing that takes place here because every ministry, everyone creates these different opportunities for people to encounter God in a very real way. And I did something really cool. I created a film school for our students. And this past few days, there are 3 main lessons I want to share with you guys that I've learned from doing that. And at the same time, I want to give you guys the why on the back end of this. So, because it's a little boomy in this room, let me take you guys upstairs to the studio we have. All right, so, oh wait, there you are. Come on this way, it's over here. All right, well, this is one of the settings that we have here in our studio here at the church, and this is where my pastor normally films his sermons for Sunday morning. But from here, I want to give you guys the 3 things I learned from working with our students this week. And this first thing is simply this. Students really need an opportunity to be creative. They need an opportunity to express themselves and to create something. And doing the film school that we did, it created that opportunity for them. All I did was give them the basics, the essentials of how to create films, this kind of the bare bones structure. And I said, hey, here's an opportunity to do something. What's inside of you? What wants to come out? How can you create something interesting? And I learned this from when I was a teenager, when my own youth pastor said, hey, we want to make some videos. Why don't you help out? And he gave me the opportunity to create something special. And it birthed something inside of me. Now, will all of our students have the opportunity to be like these massive filmmakers? Is this going to birth a big passion where they all just do all kinds of stuff now? Likely not, but it did give them the opportunity to have something spark inside of them that wasn't sparking before. Which leads me to the second thing. While they need opportunity to be creative, they do need some guidance. They need some help on how to make those things come alive, but still be their own, if that makes sense. While I'm hanging out with the students and they're filming or they were editing, all this other stuff, they had these creative ideas and they were trying to make things happen, but there are some aspects they didn't know, they didn't understand. Or perhaps they had this frame that took place and it was good, but they needed some help to make it just a little bit better. So my job this past week while they were being creative was going, hey, I love this idea. This was great, but how about this? Why don't we take this thing and just tweak it a little bit? Or I said, hey, I love the idea that you're doing here, but this is how you make it come alive. And I just kind of put little seeds here and there It's still solely their own creativity, but now I'm partnering with them to help them create what they want. I'm not telling them what to create. I'm partnering with them to create what they want to create and make it even better, so they can see that it could be so much more than even what they're seeing right now. And I think a lot of teenagers need that. They need people to help them to do that. Whatever, not just in this little space of creating videos and everything, but in every aspect of life. Teenagers and kids, they have something inside of them that needs to come out, but they need some guidance from adults to help them see it come to fruition. Now, the third thing is this. I'm gonna look at my notes to make sure I say this. Yeah, here we go. And this is real important. And it comes from a place of understanding that I've been having the opportunity to work with kids and teenagers for a while now, guys. 15 years now, actually. 17 years. But teenagers and kids need an opportunity to be creative together. So many of our kids, especially in today's day and age, they're creative, but it's a very isolated thing. And they need an opportunity to do that together and to do it in a safe space together. Not in a chaotic atmosphere where things could go south real quickly, but in a place where it can be fostered and it can grow and it can become something beautiful, but in a safe manner. And one of the reasons why things like GeekCon, which is coming up in August, that's my phone going off, I apologize. This is raw and unedited, guys. We're going for this together here. But one of the reasons why GeekCon and other things are so great and they do so well is because it's opportunity for these people who are creative to come together and be creative together. So many of us are isolated in our creativity. So many of us are isolated in the things that we do. And some it's because people don't understand our creativity. Some of it's because maybe they're just not really there and they never had somebody come along and celebrate it in a way that needed to be celebrated or foster it in an appropriate manner. Not try to shoehorn it into a structure, not try to shoehorn their creativity into what we want to use, but to go, I love your creativity. Let me help you make the art that's inside of you. Does that make sense to you guys? Is this functioning for you guys together? I feel like this is a little bit of a rambling episode, but it's something it's been inside of me for a while. And it structures a lot of how I see things and the way I interact with the students. I want what's inside of our students to come out, because God's called them to great things. He's called them to amazing and beautiful things, and He wants to use what's inside of them because He put it there. The problem we run into is the world sees the things that's there and they pervert it, they twist it. Bad actors come in and say, let me use you for my own doings. And unfortunately, sometimes, let's be real, sometimes at church, we take advantage of people. Oh, I need to use your skill for this stuff. Are we fostering what's inside of people so they can be successful in what God called them to do and what God called them to be? Are we fostering because we want something on the side? Does that make sense to you guys? And so when I work with our students, again, I gave them assignments. I gave them pathways of doing some stuff. And some of it, we used it for the church, but it was all designed in a way to foster what's inside of them so they can go on and continue to create things and do some amazing things. I had a couple students, man, they really locked in on the conversation about editing and filming, and they loved it. And there's already some things that's kind of sparked inside that they want to do. They want to create outside of that, and I'm excited for them. For some of them, they really locked in on the aspects of storytelling and what it means to tell stories. And they're like, man, I wonder how else I can tell stories. And these are beautiful things that took place. And beyond that, there were some great conversations. See, in the conversation of community where we're all together, because again, we were here from like 9 o'clock until 5. Wednesday, we were all here until 8 o'clock at night because we had a big event afterwards. But while we're working together, we're not just making videos, guys, we're doing life. That's the aspect about community that takes place. We're pulling things out of each other, not just the creative side of things, but we're pulling out conversations in life. And we had some amazing conversations where I had students talk about how they finally felt like they were a part of something. We had students who talked about how they've never thought about working together to be creative and how much that meant to them, being creative together. And then I had some students I talked to, and what was great is that I just listened, and they said that they've just having somebody to listen to them was transformative for them. And those are the things that they need. And so those are the three things I've learned from this past week. So the question becomes, the why? Well, let me take you back downstairs. This is the why. Psalm 145, verse 4. One generation will declare your works to the next generation and proclaim your mighty acts. This is the why. This is the verse that we stand on. We're not just teaching kids about making videos, but helping them see things bigger in a real way, because that's how church is supposed to go. That's how community is supposed to go. And we're going to dig a little bit more into that at the home studio. Come with me.
All right, so here at the home studio now, to go a little bit more into this conversation about the why and how Psalm 145 works into film school as a whole, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and kind of vulnerable here. As a youth pastor, sometimes I feel a little bit insecure about things because I'm not the same kind of youth pastor that I had. My mentors were both youth pastors, and they were great youth pastors. They did some amazing things. They led people in ways that I could only dream of. And they had skill sets that I simply don't have. And I admire them for the skill sets they have. But for me, when I look at how I lead people and how I invest in the next generation, I had to stop and go, what's in my hand? What do I have to pass on to the next generation? How can I help them to understand the mighty works of God? How can I understand the acts of the Lord and what he's done in a way that makes sense and that can connect with them and inspire them to do great things? See, when my youth pastors came to me and my youth pastor said, hey, we're doing this thing, and inspired me in such a way that led to this space here, right? This right here is inspired because of what he invested in me. The way that I teach and do things are because of the way that my lead pastor and other men who have spoken into my life have taught me to see the word of God and to see people. And now in turn, I am trying to pass that on to the next generation. And so I said, well, I have this thing called film school. I can teach them basics and principles of filming, and at the same time, teach them and help them to understand what it means to be in a community, to see people differently, to work together as one unit, to be in one mind and one accord for a greater purpose, and to reach people with hope, with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like I said, over the last few days, guys, I've had some deep conversations with the students, sitting around the table, eating our lunch, talking about the videos we're doing, help them to process the editing process, and just processing life as a whole. All through this medium, through the opportunity that we've created here. My encouragement for you, amazing Devoted Geeks, is this. Look in your hand. What's present? What can you use to help reach the next generation? Not to turn them into you. I don't want the students at my church to become me. I don't want them to go off and create the next version of Geek Devotions. I want them to do what God's put inside of them. All I've done is gone, hey, let me teach you a skill. Let me give you a little something to spark some creativity in you. And while you do it, let me show you who Christ is as we walk this out together. And I want them to go off, and I want them to be what God called them to be. I want them to know what he is saying, and I want them to do what he's called them to do. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important to me. That's the legacy that needs to be left behind from one generation to the next. I don't know if this episode is going to hit the way that it should. In my head, I vision this very differently. I feel like this was kind of rambling and maybe a little incohesive at the moment, but this is just me sharing my heart with what's taking place this past week. And I appreciate you guys going on the journey with me. If you guys want to see the videos they created, I have links in the description down below for some of the shorts they created and some of the other stuff they created. I'm very, very proud of them. And if you're one of the students who are at film school, know this, guys. I am incredibly proud of you, of the work you put into it, but also the community that you're building. Whether you know it or not, this past few days, you guys working together, it did something within the group fundamentally. You made people feel loved, you made people feel welcomed, you grew the group together in a very unique way, and I am so incredibly proud of you. Question of the week for everybody to put in the comment section down below. How has somebody inspired you? What did your mentors do with you that inspired you to do what you're doing today? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear those stories. I also want you guys to know, Celeste and I will be at GeekCon coming up in August. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a blast. We can't wait to see you guys on the con floor. And that is taking place because of our devoted Patreon geeks. If you'd like to help support the ministry of Geek Devotions, check out our website, geekdevotions.com, where you can find out more information about how to support us. But also, do us a favor and check out the community that we have. That's the point of it, guys, is the community. We have a Discord channel. We have a Facebook group called Devoted Geek Life. We have live streams that take place every week. Most weeks. Sometimes we have to miss, and I apologize. Where we do live, where we talk, we laugh, we play games together, we pray for each other. That's what these communities are for, to be a safe place for people to experience Jesus in a real way. And we are thankful for you for being part of it. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay devoted, peace and love.